What is up, everyone? Welcome to Drinkin Bros Sports. This is our fight preview show. We have a special guest today. You guys might know him, Mr. Showtime himself, Anthony Pettis. Go ahead and say hi, Anthony.
What's up?
Oh, man, so good to have you here. So good. We're talking about the PFL today, which is something some of our fans might know about. They're pretty familiar with the UFC. They've seen you quite a bit of times. We do fight companions here every Saturday and do watch-alongs. This is my co-host, Dan. Dan, say hi to Anthony.
How's it going, Anthony?
What up, man?
So you finished out your contract with the UFC with a 2-0 win streak, leaving out there, and then you decided to be a free agent and go over to the PFL.
Very short free agency.
Yeah, very short free agency. Didn't take you long.
Yeah, it was a quick free agency. You know, I knew. Actually, it was in December when it happened. I wanted to wait for like the holidays to pass and everything, but then I went to Miami. My agent's out in Miami, and we started getting phone calls right away and started going through deals. And then, man, it was an offer that was made that I felt that was appropriate.
That's awesome. And, I mean, you're obviously a huge name in the MMA community, and then bringing over as like an up-and-coming organization must have been huge for them to bag a big star like yourself. So, I mean, must have been pretty easy.
Definitely, yeah. I think, the PFL is doing it right. They're building up a organization around a format that the average fan can comprehend.
Yeah, so, I mean, let's jump into that right away. Like the whole regular season format, you have 4 fights. You're there to score points. You get 3 points for the victory. If you get a stoppage in the first, second, or third round, you get bonus points on top of that. Like, how do you like that format versus, the ranking system and the other organizations where you're fighting all the time trying to acquire, a ranking to win to a fight for a belt?
Yeah, no one really knows how to earn a title shot in the different organizations. If you're popular and you have some big wins, title shot. How it happens. You got guys like Oliveira, he was on a win streak. Tony Ferguson, 12-fight win streak that never got a title shot. It's crazy how it works. And then you got a guy like, even Michael Chandler just coming over 2 fights and he gets a title shot. So there's no real way that we know how to get a title shot. No real clear path to a title shot. Just kind of like if you're popular and you're winning, and they want to give you a title shot, they will. Whereas in this format, you have to earn a title shot. You have to, like you said, if you win in the first round, you get 3 extra points. You win in the second round, you get 2 extra points. If you win in the third round, you get 1 extra points. You get 2 preseason fights. The guy who has the top 4 who have the most points fight in the playoffs, and then the last 2 fight for the championship. And then a new tournament starts the following year. So it's a very cool format. My first time partaking in it. The quarantine, they did a great job in, making it, set it up and doing it right and making sure we have everything we have access to, but it was new for me. So like 17 days, man, it was like a long time before a fight. And I'm not like the crucial week. So I feel like this time around, I'm more prepared for it. I understand what's coming up ahead of me and, it's go time.
Man, with them taking the top 4, does that make it feel like you're never really out of it? Like if you take a loss when you're coming up for a title shot and you're a contender and you're trying to work your way up through the rankings, that can set you back, a couple years in your career. Where in this league, you take a loss and you can come out and get a stoppage in your next fight and you're right back up with more points than the last guy. So it just kind of keeps everyone in it. Does that feel like it's taking any of the pressure away from you?
No, I wouldn't say taking the pressure away. I mean, it's a quick turnaround. I just fought 7 weeks ago, so it's been a while since I had like a quick turnaround like this, where you're like right back into work. Which I actually enjoyed because my last fight, I honestly, like my performance that I had in my last fight, I was upset about. Like watching it, I'm like, man, I just looked like I wasn't present in there, man. I was in a shitty stance doing dumb things. So like I feel like this time around, I feel like I'm not thinking about being the face of this thing, not going to knock somebody out spectacularly. Like I got to go out there, find my rhythm, find my range, and get to work. Did
you feel that pressure, that first fight in the organization, obviously coming in with a big name, did you feel that pressure to really like make a name for yourself and showcase what you could do? And I feel like that kind of threw you off a little bit?
Not make a name for myself, but to live up to my name, if you will.
Yeah,
I mean, my name,
of course. Yeah.
I wouldn't say I like trying to go out there and like do some new things, like something I've done before. I think, so my preparation, I was thinking about that a lot more than this time around, where I was like, all right, I'm looking for big kicks, big jumps, like spins, like entertainment stuff. Whereas this time around, I went to focus on the basics, and now them things are happening even better because my basics are wrong.
Well, we went back and watched a lot of your fights, including that first fight in the PFL before this, and like you still look dangerous in that third round. Like you didn't look like yourself. You probably didn't say you didn't look as comfortable as you normally would have, but like you drop him in that third round, you're looking funky, you're looking dangerous, and like I mean the Stephen Thompson fight, like all like going back and watching, it's like whenever you seem in danger is almost like when you're most dangerous. Like when guys are chasing you down, like that right hand is always there. Something coming out of nowhere is always ready for him. And
yeah, because that Wonder Boy fight, that Superman punch just kind of came out of nowhere. So I mean, for the most part, it kind of seemed like Wonder Boy was kind of like taking a little bit of control, and he just came out and just knocked him cold.
Yeah, I mean, if you really watch that fight and dissect it, I mean, Wonder Boy's guy I'm actually fighting now, so it's kind of a good fight to reference. But he stands in like a side stance, if you will, like feet isn't directly facing your opponent. So when a guy stands like that, the objective is to find that low kick first. If you rewatch the fight, it took me a little bit of time to find the low kick, but then I started landing the back leg low kick. And when you land the back leg low kick on a traditional guy, it brings their stance closer. So now their chin don't have the movement that it has when you're standing straight up, and that's how I caught him.
Yeah, he doesn't have the range to pull back as far. And like people don't notice the leg kicks that you're so dangerous with, like catching people chasing you all the time, you know, inside that front leg low kick, and then that stance tightens up and you got that back leg low kick as well. Like, I mean, obviously you've had two huge fights against Benson Henderson, who's like kind of known for introducing that to MMA, that low calf kick. But like, I think you do it just as good, if not better than he does or did, you know what I'm saying?
And actually, he hit me with that low calf kick in our fight and tore my PCL. I had to get after that fight.
And people don't realize how dangerous and how bad that is. You kind of had his number. You beat him for the title in WEC, and then you come back and you beat him for the title in the UFC as well. I mean, do you guys ever talk since then? You ever give him a little shit about that? Nah,
man. Actually, you know, I did see him in Milwaukee when my little brother was fighting at in the not the Bradley Center, the Pfizer Forum, the new arena there. Mm-hmm. He was. His guys was fighting, so we ran across each other. You know, we keep it cool. He's a cool guy.
Well, of course. I mean, it's all sport out there. Of all the guys you fought, was there anybody you'd want to run it back against?
Collard. I mean, hopefully that happens. The guy I just lost to. Yeah. Hopefully that happens here in the finals. I feel like that's one of them things that's like, you know, when I watch that fight, it just frustrates me. It's like, man, what was I thinking? Like, what was I? My mindset wasn't in there. You know, I was trying to force things to happen. So that's hopefully I get that one back.
I mean, if you fight like the way you did in that third round, I think it's going to end up pretty well for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think so, man. I think that's my objective, is to go continue off where I was getting comfortable again. I got comfortable and I stopped like forcing things. There's a lot of different things that happen like that fans don't know about. You know, like the cutting weight here. You know, without saunas, that's hard to do. Like the whole card has to do that. You know, the me fighting in that cage is like a different canvas. Like I never got used to it. I never fought in that. I always fought, you know, on a canvas. Now we're fighting on like I don't even know what it is. Like
what's the material? Is it more like a mat, like a wrestling mat, or is it like one of
like it's like what you put over a wrestling mat. Like when MMA first came out, like they tarp thing. Like it's like a tarp that kind of goes over.
Yeah,
the
like
mat.
You see it international almost with like the strings, and they pull it really tight almost, and then but they still bubbles up a little bit and moves.
Nah, it's different, man. It's like different footing. So like I have to get used to that too. So like this camp, I went out and I did a lot of barefoot training on slippery, slicker surfaces, and I've been more selectful on, you know, what techniques work on that kind of surface.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because if you can't land to throw anything and you can't protect.
Yeah, but when you're on one leg, bro, like literally you'd slip every time, man. Like if you were watching the fight, every time I threw a knee, like I was slipping, and my kicks were slipping. I'm like, shit. So like now I understand, like my has to get adjusted, my attacks have to be adjusted, a lot of things that I just didn't know about.
I mean, you said you're cutting weight without saunas. Is that because they are not allowed in the PFL, or is that just because you guys don't have access to them right now because of quarantine?
Yeah, we're in quarantine, so we have a bubble. They gave us personal saunas, like in our room.
Little sauna suit action. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have personal saunas, but like, you know, when you're cutting weight, you're doing, you know, the hot tub sauna, a good training session, weight comes off a lot quicker than, you know, one of these little things.
Oh, exactly. I mean, you can't put an Aerodyne in that.
Hell in there, bro. Like you're in there dying.
So you fought in like a bunch of different weight classes throughout your MMA career.
145, 155, 170, undefeated at 170. Yeah, Wonder Boy and what's that? I'm sorry.
Diaz at 70. Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
Oh, Diaz was at 70.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel like is 55 your optimal weight class? I know you spent most of your time there and then dropped to 45 for a little bit, but is that where you found like the big range between power and like endurance?
Yeah, you know what? 45 was his death. You know, like I feel like when I got down there, I didn't even train for mixed martial arts. I was doing a weight cut. Like that it was like a 12-week camp of just weight cutting. Like I couldn't even spar because I was just trying to lose that weight. 55, I still have to work to make weight, but I feel comfortable doing it, and I can make it without dying. 70, I feel the best at 70, but the guys are bigger. It's like now I'm fighting way bigger guys. So it's like you got to find out that part. Like, where do you feel the best at and where can you be competitive at?
Yeah, I mean, those 70-pounders are huge, man. People don't realize the difference, but there's just a lot of mass on those guys.
210 pounds, man. I remember when I fought Wonder Boy, like when he weighed in, I'm like, oh, he's not that big. And then he walked in the cage. I was like, God damn, this guy's a giant.
You put water in, those muscles just swell up.
Yeah, bro.
What was your hardest weight cut story? Is there any time where you like did it smarter or like worse than others?
Max Holloway when I went down to 145. My first 145 fight, I fought Charles Oliveira, like the champ. The current champ.
We know. We were going to get into that. How does it feel? We'll just stop there. How does it feel to choke out or submit the champ?
The current
champ.
And
like people are.
Man, that's the thing about mixed martial arts. Anybody can win on any given day. Yep. It's like this different attacks and like this sport is crazy. That's why it's so fun. Like for real, it's like 15 minutes of like anything can happen, man. Like obviously you have game plans and you have like, you know, strengths and weaknesses, but for real, anybody can catch you with a punch and it changes everything, or a kick, or, you know, anything happens out there. But you know, Oliveira, I think he earned his spot as the champ, bro. Like he's fought some tough dudes. You know, I think his last losses were me and Paul Felder, teammates. You know, we kind of understood how to attack that. I got him first, and then like, where he's at now, he's looking amazing. You know, like his win against Chandler, obviously. I mean, Chandler threw that bomb. He was hurt and he like recovered. That was amazing. But Tony Ferguson, that fight was.
He looked so good in that Ferguson fight, just dominant.
Striking, like, and Tony has dangerous elbows. Even though people are like, Tony's like, you know, either they're saying he's like not as good as he was. It's just, bro, he's fighting the best in the world. Like, people will fall victim to that. When you're fighting the best in the world, it's a game of inches. Like, you know, he fought Benil, he fought Oliveira, he fought myself. I mean, he's fighting killer after killer after killer.
Yeah.
Oh, you had him in danger too in that fight. We
were watching it right before you broke your hand, and kind of had all the momentum before the doctor kind of like stopped to get you cleaned up there.
That happened. You know, if you watch the Dustin Poirier fight, that happened as well. You know, so like I had like the ref waited until I locked in the triangle, and then he stops the fight to stand us up to check my cut. He waited until I locked it in. It's crazy. So if you watch that fight again. And I didn't even realize it until after the fight. I was so pissed. I'm like, damn, because I was bleeding. But like I lock in the triangle, and then he stops the fight, stands us up, checks my cut, and then starts us in the standing position. I'm like, damn.
You're like, I just had all this momentum. Everything was just going my way, and just pulled it away from me.
Yeah, from he, at least wait till he fights and breaks the triangle.
Yeah. I mean, God.
And that was by far the fight of the night. That was kind of overshadowed by what happened with Conor and Habib. Later that night, but
your guys' fight, I mean, there's so much action in it. Like every time you fight, there's just so much action. I think that's what you're known for. Like,
going off that though, like, do you kind of feel at this point in your career where you're so well established and you've kind of done everything there is to do, you kind of feel you fall into a trap where you have to kind of put on a show every time you go out there?
I mean, that's kind of the battle I've been going through. You know, it's like, you know, when I see these moments of like, should I land a right hand or a 360 round kick or a jump kick? You know, the round kick and the jump kick come first, like where I should be like putting that right hand there and then doing the next move. So, yeah, I've been battling with that for a while now, man. Honestly, it's like finding that flair show place and that how strong my basics are. If you look at like my great fights, Ben Henderson, like when I landed the Showtime kick, that was 4 rounds of solid basics that led to that one kick. That was like, oh, jumped off the cage. And I think I forgot that is going on as well. You know, I'm trying to force these big moves, force these big moments in mixed martial arts where it just can't happen like that. They have to be authentic. They have to come from the flow. They have to come from, you know, you earning that.
Yeah, I mean, only you can find that balance. Only you know, like, you know, is the jab setting it up and when's the perfect timing to let it explode and like how dangerous or what the volume I should go with. Like, I mean, but, you know, when you put it together just right, then it's really amazing to watch.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. We got a couple questions from our audience that sent these in earlier. One of our friends of the podcast, AJ Gamble, sent in. He said he's really respecting of your jiu-jitsu. And how did you develop your guard coming from a taekwondo and kickboxing background? I came from a taekwondo background, but I really focused on space in my guard. You know, I was like understanding the space. So like guys in your guard, their objective is to hold you down or pass your guard. So like if you can control it from the knee to the hip and you take them angles and build a game off of that, that's where you get dangerous. I think a lot of guys like focus on the from the knee to the foot. And then now that leaves a lot of space for guys like myself that are good off their back to get angles. So
once you tighten your game up and you start like working on them angles and start developing your own game, and a lot of punching. You know, I put punches into my jiu-jitsu where it makes guys better.
Yeah, I feel like the people have got away from the ground and pound recently. Like you see, it's MMA is like really like a kickboxing fight on your feet, and then this jiu-jitsu match on the ground, where just like the old school ground and pound like is still very effective and it still works really well.
It's just, man, guys are getting better at jiu-jitsu. So like, you know, you don't see the same amount of the things that we saw in the past. Because like when you get better at jiu-jitsu and guys like their opponents are better at jiu-jitsu, now you have to be more careful with your ground and pound and your attacks because there's submissions coming at you. So I think that's what we're seeing right now. The jiu-jitsu level is growing. I mean, everything's growing in mixed martial arts. The striking, the boxing, like putting it all together. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, you're one of the first ones that it's like these true MMA fighters. They're not just one discipline translating over or like catching up in one way or another, like learning jiu-jitsu like later in life. Like you really kind of evolved at this like full MMA fighter.
Yeah, I came up, you know, like I started as striking, but like at 17, 18 is when I started really focusing in on mixed martial arts, and I was blessed to have Roosh's Sport in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and led to this life.
I mean, yeah, talk about Duke Rufus. What's it like training under him? What's it like being like one of his proteges? Like, I mean, he's been with you through your entire career, right?
Duke's never missed a fight of mine except for the one that we fought on in the card together. It was his like last fight of his career. I was the co-main event. He was the main event. That was the only time he ever missed, one of my fights. We didn't corner me. But yeah, man, like me and Duke's just our history, our vibe, you know, you can't match that. You know, how many years we have together, the stories we've been through, the wars, the after parties, the good times, the bad times. Like we have so much memories together that that's what I'm probably gonna miss. Like when this is all said and done, like these little moments in the rooms and like the moments with the team, the moments with the guys, like that's the stuff that no one gets to see. That's like really meaningful. Well,
people don't realize there's still a lot of downtime. Like you're training and you're cutting weight, but then there's a lot of like, I'm sitting around being miserable. My body's a little sore, trying to recover, trying not to waste energy. You know, you need people to hang out with.
So we have no, like, but we're in these bubbles now. There's like, usually I would have like a therapist, PT, massage, like getting my body ready for what's going to happen soon. These ones we can't. So like, we're for real. Like we do our workouts. We got,
they're not letting anyone in the bubble with you. They're not letting like, even if they pass tests or like they can't like.
We can only have a corner.
Really?
So guys, corner you was so you're only allowed 3 cornermen. And my cornerman's always been taken up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you will need more, like you don't have access to that. It's like my nutritionist is out here at Airbnb, drops my food off so I can make the weight. And then my team's out here with me in the corner so we can actually get ready for the fight.
Oh man, that's a whole added another level of like
different,
stress.
Man. It's different. My career, I had access to all this. All my fights I had access to anything I wanted. Where now, you're in bubbles and shit. It makes it fun though. It makes it like it feels like the beginning of mixed martial arts. Like
I was about to ask, does it feel like being a kid again? Like you don't have all the luxury, you don't have any of the things. It's just going out there wanting to compete.
Just roughing it. Yeah.
Just roughing it. Exactly. We're just roughing it. Going through. I mean, it's a beautiful hotel and beautiful place, but like the things that require us, things we are used to, like the sauna, the hot tubs, the access to body work, like we're going without it. And these fights happen.
How do you like being in Atlantic City? Like they're hosting all the regular season fights there, right? Like as an organization, it's almost like that's their home. Like people can become like people in that area can become fans of the sport and like show up to a lot of the events. Like they're not all over the place like in the UFC. Like, do you think that's a good thing?
I haven't even seen Atlantic City, honestly, bro. Like I've seen this hotel, I've seen out my window and the airport. That's all I've seen.
There's not much to see, man.
Yeah, you've seen all the
coming
Atlantic
from a guy from Philly who would vacation in Atlantic City from time to time. Not a whole lot to see.
It looks pretty cool though, man. The beach and like all these casinos and looks like a good vibe.
Okay. Alex Martinez, your opponent coming up here. Watched a couple of his early fights. What's your game plan against him? Like, what do you feel like you're coming out for? You keep it standing? Like, coming from his first fight from this season, the PFL, a little bit on the ground, but his jiu-jitsu game didn't look quite up par. He passed guard a couple times, didn't do much with it. They kind of scrambled around. One guy was in full mount, the other guy was in full mount. Neither one really capitalized. Like, is that a place you can take advantage?
You know what? I think after watching his fight, I didn't even change like my mindset coming from my last fight, which it kind of worked out good. I think the first fight I came out, if you watch it, was an open stance where I fight my right foot in front. Mm-hmm. That's more of a stance, more of a traditional stance, more of like a flashier stance. This fight I'm coming out right leg and back and looking to build up my basic. So like I said, the cage is a little more slippery than I was used to. So like I got to clean up my kick. So I really focus on boxing. Obviously, if it goes to the ground, I'm ready for jiu-jitsu and wrestling, but I think he comes from a taekwondo background where his striking, his range is kind of like, I'm used to that, like a Wonder Boy fight kind of. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm going to go out there and just like I said, base it off my last performance and not for the guy I'm fighting right now. I'm going to go slow it down, find my rhythm, my range, and then build up.
Oh man, that's fucking awesome. I can't wait to see you fight. You've literally been in there with like every legend in the sport. Is there one fight in particular, like with some of these guys that stand out more than others?
Yeah, man, a lot of them, bro. Honestly, even the Diaz fight, even I lost that fight. That was a fun fight, man. Like going to California, a guy like me and Date had some problems in the past when I was the champ, and we got to squash that. And it's a cool sport, man. Like if you have any problems with somebody, you literally get to fight them at the end of it. And,
usually settles it, yeah.
But usually,
the Diaz was a good one. Wonder Boy was a great one. Ben Henderson, Tony Ferguson. I mean, there's so many great fights I had.
Yeah, I mean, you've literally like fought like all of the legends like in the sport, like everyone Max, who has their name in the book, like you have been in the cage with them. Like,
the older you get, though, do you kind of like? I know it's a trap that people who are a little bit younger, it's always on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. The older you get, though, are you able to appreciate kind of like what you've already accomplished in your career?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's hard when you're in the trenches. Like right now, when I'm in this training camp, like you go through so many emotions of like, am I ready? Did I do enough work? And like, you can't look at your past fights, and you can't look at, you can't think about the future. You really got to be in this like present moment. So I think when you're in the trenches and you're getting ready for your next fight, you can't really think about what you did in the past, and you can't rely on that because this is a whole nother place right now.
Damn.
Yeah, totally get that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But hopefully after this week or next weekend.
Yeah.
Or next Thursday.
So how do these contracts dispute work? Since it's a little bit different with the PFL, do they sign you to the regular season and then have like an extension, an expectation that you will make the playoffs, or how does that work?
Sign you for the whole year.
Okay, so sign you for the entire year.
2-year deal. So I got 2 years with these guys. I got 2 seasons. So I got this season and next season.
Okay.
So better make the playoffs and I better make championship.
Yeah, I mean, I see you walking away with that $1 million at the end of it, buddy.
That's the objective. I still, nothing changes. I know what I got to go do. I got to go out there, get a finish, and, be myself.
So you got 2 years with PFL. You're only 34 right now. How long do you see yourself going, kind of, whether it's just in mixed martial arts or?
I haven't mixed martial arts. I started my own management company, my own group of fighters that are coming up. All these guys just fought last weekend. We went 5-1 last weekend. I got another guy fighting this weekend. So I got a team of guys that are coming up. It's just like part of my life, like I'm in the gym training. I love to fight. This is all I do. My little brother's just won his first world title. Like, we're just in a great spot, man. I'm having fun with it. So I'm going to keep going I'm going to ride it until the wheels fall off.
Yeah. And a few years ago, you actually had a grappling match with Jorge.
Yeah.
Is that something you would kind of like see yourself doing maybe in the later years of your career, or like maybe 40s, 50s, kind of just like?
Nah, I would competition I mean, maybe, I don't know, if I fall back in love with like that style, because the competition jiu-jitsu is way different than MMA jiu-jitsu.
Right.
Like whole other game, like when I go in there with like competition guys, I'm like, oh shit, like some of these guys I have no chance with. It's like, whoa, like they are on a different level of jiu-jitsu. And for me, I'm falling in love. I've always loved striking. I think boxing would be more realistic before I leave. It's like at least a boxing fight or some kind of trial in boxing.
Okay, so how do we get you in a ring with a Paul brother? Is the next question. Where you get that paycheck,
Before I signed the PFL contract, there was a couple fight offers that popped up, but I wasn't done with mixed martial arts yet. So I'm like, what? I'll save that.
Right, you gotta go continue to do what you can do, show these people that you're still this, and then eventually come over later.
Yeah, and then when I'm ready to try out boxing, I'll do it.
Well, your old teammate and an old teammate of mine as well is going to get a little stab at him first. Tyron, what do you think about that, man? Because like,
love it.
I was a wrestler at Mizzou like right after he graduated, so like he would always come back for the summers, and like he was fighting in Strikeforce at this time, and like he was the scariest dude I had ever seen. I was like 18 years old, and he was grabbing me and throwing me around like everything in police, but like. He had a tough end of his career in the UFC, still fighting the best in the world. It's so hard to keep at that like hot heat in that like very best space. But with Jake knocking out Ben, I mean, that's the whole reason I'm blonde right now. Like, what do you think Tyron's going to do to him? Like, I mean, and I know both of them are like worlds difference in their striking, but like,
yeah,
what do you say happens?
He has way better boxing, obviously, than Ben. I think with time and some boxing, I tried boxing and putting, he got some knockouts in mixed martial arts. So I think, it's definitely more dangerous fight for Jake Paul. You came from a great fucking school, man. Like with Ben and all these guys, Ben and Woodley teammates, like all these guys, have this history and this bond. So I feel like Woodley definitely wants to get it back for Ben, but not only for Ben, but for the mixed martial arts community. I feel like that's what's at stake right now. Is Woodley has to hold it down for the mixed martial arts community.
And I mean, I gave Jake no shot in the first one, and I'm giving him no shot in the second one.
I gotta say, if Woodley loses this fight, you got to cancel the entire Mizzou wrestling program.
it's bad. Like, it's on the line right now, man. Like, our dignity is just hanging by a thread.
But it went from like the top of the top to like, I mean, and Ben's like, if it was gonna happen to somebody, Ben's the guy should happen.
Of course, off of hip surgery too.
Yeah, he's like, I know who I am. He's like very confident. So I feel like that's not hurting Ben too much. But I think Woodley's a little more in the public. Yeah. He's like, trying to be doing the acting thing all over LA, like, so like that. It's hard to hide from that, man. Hopefully he gets out there and does his thing. I hit him up. I was like, if you need any work, let me know. I'm in Vegas. I'll come training with you, all that. Okay.
I mean, is he training up for it right now? Do you have any inside secrets?
Just found out when we found out that like it was officially happening, but yeah, he's been boxing. I think we were like, he was talking about it after Jay Love. Did you guys see that video? Jay Leon Love?
No.
Like, so that's how this kind of happened. So he was like in the back, like, what you know about boxing to Woodley when Woodley was looking at the boxing gloves, and that's where this like chemistry happened of like Woodley getting in that pace. So I feel like from that point, that's when Woodley started just focusing more on boxing.
Dude, all right. So do you have any predictions for that fight?
Man, I hope Woodley knocks his ass out in the first round. That's my hopes, but predictions, I don't know, man. Like, after watching him fight Ben and then looking at some of his training, dude knows how to box. It's not like he's just a new guy coming with no boxing. Like, he's actually training for this stuff too. So like, Woodley has to be on his game.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't got to worry about money and you
got YouTube money, you just train every day. I feel like he should be semi decent.
I mean, he's an athlete.
Yeah, he trains every day. Yeah, you should be okay by this point.
Yeah, but you still should not be able to step into the boxing with Tyron Woodley after 3 years.
No, probably not.
You should not be able to do that.
It's true.
Oh, man. Any other plugs or anything else you want to say to our fans real quick before we sign out of here? Man, it's just been a pleasure to have you on.
No, man, make sure you guys tune in June 10th for my PFL debut. Make sure you guys check out Showtime Group, all my guys, up-and-coming fighters, some big names coming up. And
what's your management company? Who are the fighters that you guys got coming up?
The next fight I have is Friday, is Scotty from Oregon. He's going to be fighting a good up-and-coming guy. So what I did is I did this, like, combine, had all these guys come from, all over the U.S. and some from, like, outside of the U.S., and they all tried out for my fight team. And I picked like the top 40 guys to be on my pro team. Mm-hmm. And they've been last summer. So now they're starting to fight. And it's great to see.
Dude, that's awesome. You did a little tryout to be on your team. That's fucking badass. I wish we could have seen that. I wish someone filmed it. And that's Showtime Group on Instagram. And is that showtime.in as your website too? Yep. All good. So if you guys want to check out the next group of up-and-coming fighters managed by Anthony Pettis, go out and watch him on ESPN Plus and ESPN2 coming up at the PFL. Dude, it's just been wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one.
Yep. You too.
Later. Oh, man. Dan. What do you think? You think he's gonna do it?
Yeah, he should.
I think
he looks way more focused.
He did.
That first PFL fight. So
he was fighting a boxer who walked him down, put those heavy hands on him, and he got behind early. I think in that first fight, lost that first round and got behind in the second. So if he wasn't already trying the Showtime moves, the knockout finishes, he's definitely trying them then. And I think that actually, like, to me, that's what made me seem more comfortable. Like I in that third round, watching him out there, like he looked good. And then he dropped him, so, maybe it really was. Maybe it was just nerves. Maybe it was the canvas.
The big shiny lights of Atlantic City get to everybody,
I don't know if that's what about Atlantic City that gets to you. Oh.
You think it's the boardwalk the meth underneath?
The Mookie Thompson? Or Nucky Thompson?
Nucky Thompson, yeah.
The
Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah. The ghost of him.
No, dude, I'm excited to see what he can do because, like, he is the guy for the PFL. So I think they're pretty much banking on him to at least be in the playoffs. I mean,
those first round betting odds when we were watching that, he was like minus 500 or something like that.
Yeah, and then it slowly faded away.
Yeah.
So what else we got this weekend? We got you're going to the Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Logan Paul Mayweather fight.
Logan Paul Mayweather fight. I will be there. Catch all my Instagram stories. I may even do a little live action so you guys can watch along. Apparently, we got ringside tickets. And also, apparently, they're not going to announce a winner. So I think we just have to hope that someone punches someone in the face and then they don't get up.
Yeah, I think you can declare a winner with knockout. That's it. But yeah, it's an exhibition. Classic exhibition rules. It's not sanctioned by any committee, so you can't really have judges decide, I'd imagine.
Oh, so I'm just going through the chat right now. Sorry, guys, if I look a little...
Yeah, AJ Gamble saying Habib's other cousin is in the PFL.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names you'll notice, like Usman's brother, I think, is in.
Yep, Usman's
PFL.
brother's in the PFL as well. A good friend of mine, Bubba Jenkins, is at 145 in the PFL with Lance Palmer. Both those are old wrestlers that I used to kick it with. Man, like it's just I like what they're doing here with the PFL, and it makes it feel more like
a cool format.
It feels like a football league. Like,
Yeah,
let's be honest.
this is why you like it. It's because it's fucking soccer.
Well, no, it feels like American sports because like UFC right now, it feels so much like boxing, and like you got to squat on your spot, you got to like build your ranking. A loss throws you back.
That is true. There is a playoff, so it wouldn't be soccer. It would be more like hockey. You get points for wins, knockouts, or what was it? First round 3 points, second round.
I just love that you can take a loss and you're not done. Like you're not over. And I feel like removing that pressure from some of these guys will just give us a lot better performances. I know he didn't really kind of want to admit it there, but like, you know, a loss like that in the first fight of the UFC would have put him back a bunch. You know, he would have been off a main card onto an undercard.
Yeah, probably like a headliner for the prelims or something.
Yeah, right. And that's your chance to get back in.
And you got to fight back, and you got to work your way up the rankings. And most guys, when they're in their prime, never really get that title shot, or if they do, it takes them forever. Like even Habib didn't have that many title defenses because it took him forever to get to the fucking title.
I mean, yeah, they didn't like him when he came over.
Just didn't like that style.
They didn't like that style.
They didn't like that ground and pound, you know?
He just tying up them legs, man. Habib did that better than anyone else, and no one has done it since him. The way he wraps their legs with his legs and keeps them in that leg triangle. And when your legs are stuck together like this, there's no way for you to post out and gain any kind of leverage, and you're just stuck on your butt. And yeah, he's like an anaconda.
In the most fucking insanely stacked division there is in the UFC.
Yeah.
And most of those guys, like the biggest names in that division, are coming off of losses. So it's interesting to see where that goes.
Life is a Laugh is asking, what about mini Habib? Are you talking about
his cousin, I think, right?
No, I think he's talking about that guy who has like the dwarfism.
The like 18-year-old that looks about like 3 months old. Yes, dude. Those two kids that are on everybody's Instagram now.
They're like, so big now.
They're huge. I mean, they're 18 and 19 years old, and they look like toddlers.
When the guy breaks them up, he just like picks them up and puts them anywhere. No, Colton, I know you meant Islam Makhachev. Islam is Habib with shoulders that are cannonballs and hands that are dynamite. So like, no one wants to fight Islam.
That's why Paul Felder retired, right?
In the division, yeah. It's
which I get, man. I get Paul.
I could see Darush fighting him. I mean,
is he going to take a step back though?
They told him they were going to give him top 5, but there's no one in the top 5 they can give him.
Yeah, because everyone's kind of tied up right now. It's essentially but I mean, before the Chandler fight, it was a Final Four, right? It is a Final Four now.
Cut to Dan real quick, and Dan, tell me your thoughts on it.
Well, you have it's probably going to be Chandler versus Gaethje at some point. Giorgio is going to take a piss, and then I imagine obviously the winner of Conor and Poirier. They're going to collect that check and then get that title shot. And then they'll face Charlie Oliveira. And then the winner will probably face the winner of Gaethje Chandler again. Or Chandler might have to win a few fights before he actually gets another title shot. But, yeah. That's essentially what it is. It's Final Four right now to
it's the Final
fight
Four.
Charlie. Kind of.
I mean... you say that Charlie's going to lose to either Poirier or Conor. I think he beats both of them.
He'll probably beat Conor if he goes to the ground. He'll lose to Dustin.
But then I oddly see Conor beating Dustin and getting the title back.
I don't want that. No, I don't think anyone wants that.
No one.
I don't even think Conor fans want that. It's really hard to be a Conor fan right now.
Is it?
Kind of. I mean, he's just making himself less and less likable.
It's the redemption story, though.
The redemption story of punching an old man in the face at a bar.
Well, here's what happened. He lost everything, won everything.
Lost it again.
But
still has it. I don't know. It's just hard to support Conor right now.
Oh, I mean, I think he's a giant tool. But.
Yeah. I would like to see Dustin versus Charlie. Then I think DP kind of works him. And then Gaethje probably fights Chandler. And if
war.
If Gaethje beats Chandler, I think Gaethje gets the title shot. But if Chandler beats Gaethje, I don't think he gets the title shot.
See, this is where I wish the UFC was the PFL, because I would love to watch all these guys fight each other in a regular season.
Right. And you
like think about it.
You get
that's
four
so
fights.
awesome.
You're guaranteed 4 fights, like 4 Conor fights a year. You're guaranteed 4 Chandler fights a year.
If not 6.
4 Gaethje fights, yeah, plus the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you're guaranteed that minimum. That'd be sick, yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a great format.
How would, and then,
but these are prize
to get
fighters. A lot of these guys, like at this point, Conor is a prize fighter.
Yeah. I mean, he is. Which I hate that about the sport. Like, I mean, these guys are so used to competing that much. Like, I definitely like the 3-round fights too. Like, I think you can do multiple 3-round fights per year
instead of making guys go 5.
Yeah.
Like
always having a main or co-main every weekend. You know, like some of these guys, like Tony Ferguson only fought 5-round fights for like 4 years.
Yeah, he did.
Like,
and I mean, everyone's saying Tony's washed, but like Tony's, like Anthony mentioned, he's just fought nothing but killer after killer for these last like 3 or 4
and
fights.
I know Anthony couldn't say much about like fighters outside the PFL right now, and like really had to hype that up. But if you wouldn't want to see a Showtime versus Tony, like running that back,
you just run that back. You run the fucking Nate Diaz fight back. You just run the auto fight that never happened.
Right. I mean,
I don't know where they would meet.
What is Jose Aldo doing right now?
Would they meet at 155? You think? Because I don't think Pettis seemed to not really want to ever go to 145.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we could just get all of these guys into the PFL, like all these aging names, I would love it. And then have them all go up a weight class.
It's like a Champions League.
Yeah. I would. I mean, it's kind of what Bellator is to an extent. Like they were letting guys like go up in weight classes. Remember when Rumble Johnson and was it like Max Holloway fought at the same weight or something?
No.
They did.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. They both fought at 55.
Huh. I don't remember that.
Oh God, how big was Romero too? Didn't Romero recently get cut from the tournament? I mean, it happened like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
R.I.P. And then Alvarez got let back in to the mini tournament. He had that disqualification overturned. Mm-hmm. Just some random MMA news while we're out there, while we're shouting things, going through.
You're a little bit more deeper into the fringe leagues than I am.
I mean, we got guys like AJ Gamble who need me to stay up on these fringe fighters. He also said that Islam's ground game is much different than Khabib's. Everyone's ground game is different than Khabib's. Like no one ties those legs up like that, and it's beautiful. Like it's not jiu-jitsu by any means. Like it's there's no guard play whatsoever. It's like he transitions. It's almost like a leg lace in freestyle wrestling when a guy's on his butt and wants to belly out, and then you switch to the lace. It immobilizes people, and I wish someone would adopt that. I haven't seen anyone else in the sport adopt that yet, and I'll be on the lookout for it. AJ,
I'm trying to think of like the best wrestlers in the UFC right now. Obviously, Usman is up there.
Yeah, I'd probably say Marty. Henry, if he comes back. I mean, honestly, there's just better wrestlers in the PFL. You got Lance Palmer in there. You got Bubba Jenkins. You got, I mean, these are both NCAA champions. Lance Palmer has a freaking hit list that he's taken out. He's beaten Jordan Burroughs. You know, he's beaten. I mean, dude, he was the dude back in the day for Ohio State.
I guess TJ's technically a wrestler.
A little bit.
He's coming back. When is Dillashaw Sandhagen? It should be coming up soon. I don't know if they re-signed the contract because that's fallen through, I think, a few times.
Let me look that up. TJ Dillashaw versus Sandhagen.
So that's a division that's kind of tied up right now with nobody.
July 24th.
Okay, so winner of that's probably getting a title shot. We don't really know what's happening with Sterling. He just got neck surgery.
Mm-hmm. I think he vacates the title.
You think he vacates and doesn't get that rematch with Peter Yan?
I don't think there's enough time.
Peter?
And after Joe Rogan.
So interim belt between Peter Jan, and the winner of TJ versus Sandhagen?
I think so. I think they give Aljamain a little bit of time, but I don't think he recovers fast enough. The way Joe was talking about it is he's had a few of his like.
Does Rob Font get a shot or no?
No, definitely not. But he's had his spine fused. He's had some of those cages fused.
For Sterling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty very serious neck surgery. Like, and you know, do you think that kick or that knee had anything to do with it?
I don't know. I'm not one to speculate on injuries, but if you want to go with Danny Hot Take,
yeah,
maybe this is just kind of a full sell, right? Like a lot of people were questioning whether or not he was milking that knee to the head, saying he was knocked out and all that. He's just going the extra mile and just being like, no, leave no doubt.
I had to get neck surgery afterwards.
That illegal knee caused my neck surgery.
I mean, at that point, can he sue him? Is he like liable for damages?
I don't know, but you could like win the belt. He wins the belt that way. What if he just never fights again? What if he's just like, you know what? I'm gonna retire a champion.
And then, oh man, and then like 20 years from now, he's just telling
Off a DQ.
He's just telling his kids, I could never fight again. I took a terrible knee to the head.
Trust me, I bet on fucking Sterling that fight, and he was getting his ass whooped the entire time. Like,
yeah.
Jan was dicing that man up.
I think first round went to Sterling.
Not really. I don't think he won it all.
Jan just came back into it.
But what a fucking dumbass. Like, yeah, you deserve to lose the belt if you illegally knee somebody. Like, that's day one stuff. That's kindergarten education.
But fighters don't know the rules. Almost no one knows the rules. like I'm dead serious. Like, no one knows the rules, man. They're so deep, and like, it's just, unless you're like looking it up, you don't know. We got a fight night this weekend, though. Rosenstrick's back.
Yeah, we do.
Versus Augusto.
Weird they kind of skipped Memorial. I guess maybe not that weird. You would think they would have fights Saturday night this past weekend, but a little rare weekend off.
I think Dana likes to remember those
Go out
who
on
have
the
fallen.
boat.
No, I think instead of taking a long weekend, Dana likes to,
That's true.
Remember.
It's a large portion of his
audience.
His audience.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So Rosenstrike back at it
Against Augusta. You think Rosenstrike gets his career back in order here?
All right. So what happened after he got his fucking lip knocked off by Francis?
He got knocked out again by Derek Lewis.
Then he got knocked out by Derek Lewis. He hasn't fought since then?
No.
Okay. So back-to-back KOs, like vicious KOs.
Yeah. Versus a man who is the same height but 20 pounds bigger.
Yeah. Man, is this the end?
I don't know.
What is he favored right now? MyBookie.ag.
Let's check it out.
Shouts to our sponsor. Of course, the only place where you should gamble.
Use promo code BROS. We'll either double your deposit or give you half your deposit back. We're not sure. They
Gives
keep
you
changing.
so up to $1,000, you get up to half your deposit.
Okay.
So you deposit $1,000, I believe you get $500. Is that correct, Rob? Give me this. Yep. So $500 if you deposit $1,000. MyBookie.ag promo code BROS.
I mean, look up Augusto's record. Augusto's last loss was to Overeem.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, it was from elbows. Herb Dean stopped that in the 5th round.
Man, I can't get that image of fucking Overeem just getting diced up by Volkov out of my head.
Man, I mean,
That was so brutal. He did not look like he wanted to be there. No. Rosenstrike's minus 130 right now.
I mean, this looks like a pretty
Oh,
good
we got
fight.
another Walt Harris fight. Ugh.
Ugh, I know.
Ugh.
I know.
Man, I'd hate this card.
Who else is on it?
I'm not watching this card.
Really?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I probably will. But
Well, I guess
I
during
hate
the watch
this card.
long this Saturday. I won't be here. I'm going to be in North Carolina this Saturday, setting up Mr. Eric Tanzi for
then you're
his
going
new
to Miami
show.
Sunday?
Yeah, then I'm going to Miami Sunday to film Mr. Liddell and Mr. Patterson.
Oh, shit. We got the Queen of Violence this weekend.
The what?
The Queen of Violence.
Oh,
Ariane Lipsky.
where's she fighting at?
She's pretty hot.
And she in the undercard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's the main of the undercard. She is a pretty attractive female. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty dope name, Queen of Violence.
Queen of Violence is a great nickname.
Yeah. I would want my significant other to be named the Queen of Violence. Or maybe Queen of something. Queen of Laundry.
No. Look at you adding to the patriarchy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way to do it. God, any other questions from you guys? Any other things you want to talk about real quick from you hardcore MMA fans?
What are your predictions this weekend?
For this weekend?
For Logan. Goes to decision, which there isn't a decision, so it's just a draw. Can you bet a draw? Is that the money? It's not official. I mean, Logan will probably get kind of like TKO'd, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that perfect record that his brother does.
I don't think he lasts 7 rounds. I think he just gets tired.
I thought it was is 8 or 7 or I thought it was 6.
6 is a 6-3 round. Ugh, maybe he makes it that.
It's not a whole lot of time.
Yeah,
No.
Oh, let me look up the number of rounds. It might be 8. It's 8 rounds. Yeah, it's 8 rounds. So I don't think he makes it 8. 6, I think he could have made it. 8's a long time, dude.
He'll be gassed 30 seconds in, probably.
No, I think he makes it through 3 rounds. I think because he's training.
Mm-hmm.
He's in there sparring. He's sparring rounds. Like I don't think he understands how tired he's going to get not hitting him. Like he's going to swing for Mayweather, and he's going to miss. And
that's his best. His best chance is to just gas himself in the first round and just go like balls to the wall.
Is it?
Got to go for broke, yeah.
Because like I mean,
he's not going to beat him. He's not going to be able to like.
He's not going to win anyway.
Box.
His only way of victory is like to not get beat up and make it the whole time.
That's a win.
Yeah, if he makes it the whole time, I think that's considered a win.
Okay, well, try to go for the knockout.
It's Rocky. It's Rocky 1. You know, I went the distance.
You throw the haymakers. You throw nothing but 30 seconds of haymakers, and if you get caught during it, so be it.
Logan Paul goes the distance with Apollo Creed.
You got to go out on your sword.
I mean, that's the most entertaining thing, but
that's
what
this is. This is an entertainment product.
That's how you get embarrassed. This product is to raise your value, raise your stock, raise your celebrity.
He doesn't have boxing stock though. He hasn't won a boxing fight. He lost to KSI
twice.
Wasn't a draw the first time. He's I think he's 0-1-1.
Either way, like it's just like I don't know what your strategy is here. Like you don't hit Mayweather. Like I don't know. Like you just don't.
No.
And like no matter how big he is, I bet he doesn't have the power.
Like, he'll probably fuck with Logan for the most part, I'd imagine, for a few rounds.
Yeah. I would assume
maybe let him land a clean shot. Nothing's gonna happen.
Life is a Laugh says Woodley wins, Logan cries foul, and the money machine keeps spitting.
So that would be Jake.
Yeah.
That's later on.
Yeah.
I know it's hard to differentiate between Logan and Jake sometimes.
I know it's not. One looks way douchier than the other. One looks like a Gap commercial, and one looks like a SoundCloud rapper. Reed White's asking if we're going to be live Sunday. I think we will be. I'm going to try to make it happen. Hopefully the Wi-Fi or the internet in the hotel is good enough that we can bring you in. But I'm pretty sure we'll be doing some sort of live pre-fight with Chuck Liddell. So tune in for that. Check my Instagram stories, and maybe I'll give you some updates there. Hopefully we'll be recording a new episode for the crypto show. I've been a little behind traveling so much to LA. I'm sorry, guys, but this is the first month we can start investing anyway, and we don't have that much money yet. But it'll be pretty fun. If you're investing in AMC, that's through the roof. You're all making your money, and you're all diamond hand, laser-eyed hodl bears making bunches of money.
Hey, if you made money on AMC and I told you about it, I don't know.
Yeah, thank
What the beak? Maybe throw a little my way. I don't care.
You could, but he also just made like $5,000 on golf bets.
No,
so he's pretty good. You know, Dan's
could always do better. You know,
Dan, you give to the poor. You don't ask for anything in return. You bestow your knowledge upon people.
No, I want to steal from the rich and give to myself.
I like that.
Yeah.
Take what you can, give nothing back.
Mm-hmm.
Very Pirates of the Caribbean of you. We've had fun here today. Today's been a cool show. We got to hang out with Anthony Pettis. Like, we got to hang out with Mr. Showtime himself, ask him some questions. We see if he can revive his career here in the PFL, and we'll see if we can be fans of the PFL. Maybe we'll do watch-alongs for that, too. Maybe we'll do pools. Maybe
Thursday night action.
I feel like this system also offers up good gambling. There's lots of things to bet on. Maybe we get a little inter-office action.
What was that, Joel?
George St. Pierre, PFL.
What?
What? Talking to the mic.
Talking to the microphone. There's a mic over there.
GSP.
What about him?
Let's get him in there.
I don't think
No.
he's still under contract with the UFC.
Yeah.
They
no.
just shot him down from fighting fucking De La Hoya in a boxing match.
Oh.
Dana was like, nah.
Yeah, George is in that like prize fighter position where he'll do like 1 or 2 like big events. I want people like in the grind again. Like this is like you're signing up for 5 or 6 fights, and it's like in a relatively short period of time. Like I'm ready to watch that. I'm Papa G.
Kind of an old school like King of the Ring vibe.
Night, because then your
It
body's
should
literally
be,
broken.
man. No, just run it back. UFC 1, 2, and 3.
Dude, you had guys who hadn't fought all
You had
night.
guys fighting in jeans.
And on that note, we need GTFO. I don't know. I've had fun. Have you had fun, Dan?
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah. Life is Laugh says he'll buy you a PhD steak dinner later.
And he'll call me again. Yeah, that's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I don't know what that
I'll
means.
take that.
Yeah. All right.
Always up for steak dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be back obviously next week to preview UFC 263.
Which maybe we have some special news about that. So
Maybe we'll be in Arizona. If we say it on the show, I think it makes Ross have to buy us tickets.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, we'll definitely be in Arizona. We may have a super special guest on.
We're
the
gonna have a
show out there.
suite there.
It's gonna
Ross,
be,
yeah. Now you're gonna have to. Sorry, man. We said it. You got to buy now.
Yeah. So I guess we got to go to UFC 263, and if you guys like keep watching this show, we'll keep bringing you better content from places with better guests and super exclusive things, and it'll be fun.
Till then.
Till then, bye guys. Joel, hit the off air button.